good morning, everybody. It is February 2nd of 2020. Glad you joined me here live for my Facebook weekly call. Please make sure you enter in your name and where you're dialing in from today. I know there's a lot of conventions going around on the end of end of January, beginning of February. And so you might be watching this even on replay. I'm still interested to find out where you're coming in from. So I wanted to share something that was kind of unusual. When I was at NRF, I was able to attend a whole workshop on smart retailers that are using events and physical ways of creating experiences in stores. And Martin, with the head guy at Lego, was talking about one of the things they have discovered is they don't want to just put out a bunch of Legos and have people be able to put something together, because people don't typically do that. What they found is if their employees can partially start to build something with white bricks, and they leave the colored bricks out for the visitors, kids to come by, then they add to it. But if they just leave it alone, it's too much for them to start creating creatively. And I thought about that today when so many of you think that your merchandise can just do the job, and you have realized that that's what displays do, is they start someone to think, oh, maybe I could do this. Or when you're adding on a sale and you say, let's try this scarf on or a different belt or something, that's you helping them start to see, oh, I could do this. And that's what we call wonder. And that's where we sell things, is up in wonder. It's up in the top part of your brain. It's where we start thinking like, oh, what would that look like in my house? Or what would happen if I change that color, whatever it's going to be. And that's where the money is. So instead of going over and over and trying to come up with more ways to give away your profits, I would encourage you to find more ways to get your customers up into wonder so that they can feel comfortable enough to activate their own possibilities, because that's kind of what I do with you every Sunday morning. So I've already got 25 of you here, and it's only a minute. My goodness. Hey, Gail, you submitted 2 questions. I hope I have good answers for you here today. Thanks for being first to comment. Hey, good morning, Alexandra and Kyle. All the regulars are here. Heather, Carol from St. Louis. John from Alabama, Deborah, yeah, you guys are all typing in. And again, if you haven't typed in yet, please make sure you do, because the Facebook algorithm is always looking at who's interested, who's here, and who's giving me thumbs up. So and someone admonished me, don't worry about what I think is the angry face, that's really a laughing face. So I'm going to hope that that's actually true this time. But in any event, this is going to be a short one. I don't have a lot of questions. So if you have something that comes up, certainly you can enter it in comments below. Also, we're coming into deeply into people, meeting planners, looking at who they're going to hire for 2020. So I'd appreciate you telling your boss or telling your association and saying, we got to get this guy here, because he's the only guy out there that understands brick and mortar. Is a game that is being brilliant on the basics, and he's helped me a lot with his Facebook videos every morning. So I'd appreciate that referral. That would be great. So let's get into it. We have Charlie, who always has something for me because he's a new retailer. So let's see what Charlie says. Are there certain types of businesses where outdoor advertising makes the most sense? Is it dependent on each individual market or geographic location? I know billboards should be short and sweet in their messaging, but I'm not sure if my gift shop is best showcased this way. I've done online and newspaper ads with some success, but the cost of outdoor seems it would be hard to get a return. So Charlie, to your point, first off, for an individual business, it's much harder, especially if you are, blocks or miles away, because no one's going to probably remember, oh, I saw that gift shop on a billboard somewhere, right? It's kind of like movie ads. It sounds like a good idea, but it's usually just a way of hoping. And so, yeah, I've certainly have used billboards with some of my clients, but they've had a presence of 5 or 7 stores, which makes it easier. Or if you had one that was right over it, right near it, that might be good. But, Charlie, realistically, the ones that you most want to go after are people who've already given you money. So I would encourage you to make sure you have a regular email strategy and a newsletter and a website that answers people's common questions, and that you're actually even doing Facebook Live videos where you take your customer list and update it into Facebook, and then you find lookalike audiences of people like that to show your ads to. That's much smarter, because then you have people who have bought from you who are actually interested in what you have to say. So I hope that helps. And then, I'm actually even thinking about running my Facebook Live 14-day challenge again. I took all of 2019 off because too many people started it, and then they'd say, oh, well, I'll get around to it. But if you're interested, I may actually bring that back in 2020. It's a pretty big commitment for 14 days, as some of you who have done it know. I know there's Sharon Soons who's there. I know Heidi West has done it. I know several of you have done it before. But just consider that if you're interested, I will certainly demystify it for you. And I can't think of a better way to showcase your business than Facebook Live videos, and then boosting them to people who already like you, and then helping find their friends. Because you know what? As much as people say Facebook is dead, 2 billion people log in regularly every day on it. So I don't think it's dead. And then where else are you going to find those people? Instagram? Probably not. Maybe TikTok? I think let's just lock it in, make sure we got it there. So some quick highs. Got some people traveling. Thanks for joining in this morning. Niagara on the Lake, Kevin. That sounds cold up there. It's I think 30 degrees here in upstate New York, and we've only had 2 big snowstorms. So finger crossed we made it through a third of winter so far. Let's see. Everybody's looking at their phones and not signs. Certain truth to that, but we're still driving. So I wouldn't say it's not, but I think that the end of the day is there's a lot of places to put your money, and I've done it too. When I first started out, I took out Google ads. I thought, oh, well, just take out Google ads. That'll be the answer, except that my site wasn't really set up for that. And my site ended up not converting because the site itself wasn't set up the right way. So just getting more bodies is there. It's kind of like having a big promotion, and then getting people to the store and not having employees trained to be able to convert those people who came in to become buyers, and you've just wasted that whole promotion. So always make sure that whatever you're doing is going to convert, and that's going to end up being able to drive sales for you. In fact, I'll give you a sneak peek. Those of you who are watching Facebook, I actually have a short course on features and benefits we'll be coming out with in the next couple of weeks that you'll be able to buy for $99, full access for a month. It's actually part of Sales RX. Those of you who've stayed away and don't seem to believe that that's going to make your change, that's a way you could step your toe in the water and see if you like that. But that's coming up next week, so I'll tell you about more of that. When next week, I think I'm in Indianapolis. I'm actually speaking next Sunday there, and then on to Phoenix a couple days later. Kim says, our biggest corporate vendor denies us from selling products online. However, somehow individuals sell their genuine products in bulk online at a time. We paid big bucks to be a genuine dealer. How can I approach the corporate vendor and say this isn't fair? You could say whatever you want, Kim. I would just say they're going to say, so what? The reality is an awful lot of independent retailers get upset at their vendors for selling online or doing different things. But you're just not that big to call the shots. You're not Dick's Sporting Goods talking to Nike. If you don't do this, we're going to pull our merchandise. You're a very small part of the pie. So as much as you want to get there, I think instead of spending your time being animosity or being nasty at your vendors, you have to find a way to be peaceful and realize you're getting as much as they are and not begrudge them. So I hope that helps. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, because you're calling all your buddies who tell you, oh, it's for you. And the reality is it's about your 4 walls and what you're doing with the merchandise you selected. And a lot of people are at New York Now today and some other conferences, and I'm sure you're loving buying all sorts of stuff, but I don't give a damn if you buy it. I give a damn if you sell it. There's a big difference. All right. Gail, I have a gift shop and get a good amount of customers in my store looking for a particular item. I contacted the manufacturer and they offered me a limited amount of merchandise, leaving out the most requested product. They claim there are too many stores in my town who already carry the line of products, and I have gotten in their limited merchandise, but still continue to lose customers because they only want that one product. I can't imagine what that one product is that is that special. We try our best to show them other similar products. I came up with an idea, but it's a good one. I was thinking of buying the product at retail and just mark it up $1 or $2. I would consider a loss leader and make those customers happy. Is this a good idea? It's an idea, Gail. I don't know if it's the best idea. I mean, I can't imagine that a gift store has that many people walking in for one specific item. No, it has to be this exact one, not the red one. It's got to be the yellow pencil. And if it is, it's an option to look at. At some point, if you're losing money on it and you're losing as well, you have to ask yourself, is this really worth spending my time on? If you sold 100 people a day 100 people a month, 100 people a year coming in asking for that product. And if it's that strong a product and it's everywhere, it reminds me of baby beanies, Beanie Babies, whatever they were, that were really hot. And then all of a sudden you saw them everywhere. They were in like grocery stores and convenience stores. And then suddenly it all went away like that. And people were left with loads of them. So I don't know that I have a great answer for you. It certainly let us know what you think, but I don't know that that's, I think you might be focusing on something that may not be as big an issue as you think it might be. And you asked another question. Stores downtown in the summer, the city has a few large street events. That's great. Brings a lot of people to the store. We've extra people on to handle the floor, but found that greeting all these people is not only a tough thing to do, but most coming in the store don't listen or see you talking to them. There's zombies walking in looking to cool off. Would it be a good idea to have an employee just at the door greeting, or would it be a waste of money? So Gail, I don't see you on Sales RX, so you don't know how to greet people, I would imagine, to begin with. And we talk about greeting multiple people in a store in Sales RX. So yeah, you could have somebody at the front of the store, but that they're not, just because they're at the front of the store doesn't make it any better. If there's a lot of people walking in the door and you're just saying hi, 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 it's not real and it's not relatable. So why do it? And I think the attitude of they're all just in here to cool off, is you really got to look at your own perceptions there. Sorry, Gail, but you're pretty much discounting your customers and saying, oh, they're just all here for this. If they're just all here for this, they would have gone into someone else as well. So it's your opportunity. You should be grateful and, thank whoever is doing this to actually give you a chance to actually have warm bodies come into your store. And your goal is to convert, not find reasons why they're not buying and giving yourself, oh, it's not us, it's them. Why don't you get Sales RX and actually learn how to do it? And I see several of you who use Sales RX are right here telling me that it works well. And I know that it does. So there you go. Clifford, I don't know what you're asking. Should I answer the Amazon phone calls? I don't know what it even means. I assume you're saying, are they calling you to say you should sell on their third-party marketplace? I would encourage everyone to do that because a lot of people are making money at that. So there you go. Kevin talking about you can max out your co-op suppliers by using their co-op advertising. That's free money for budget. That's great. But also it's going to be dependent on how much you bought, Kevin. So again, if you haven't bought a lot from that vendor, there's not going to be a lot of co-op money. But again, there's a lot of places I would use it before I would use billboards. And my last one today, oh no, I've got one more here. Cheryl, once I realized I ran a successful quilt shop, not a museum of fabric, my turns increased. My overall look of the shop improved, and I stopped feeling guilty for not making at least cost of old ugly stuff that needed a new home. I feed my clearance areas much more often to keep that area fresh looking, and I'm always in the market for decent closeouts. Oh, so we're talking about the post, right? So you're talking about the post that we did about making friends with clearance. And Cheryl, that's great. Somebody had asked me, is it too late to do a holiday clearance? And I think when you're in February, yes, it's too late to do a holiday clearance. Nobody wants to see Christmas merchandise. I don't want to see reindeers. I don't want to see ugly Christmas sweaters. Those should have all been out of your store the first week of January. Now we are in Valentine's, so you have 2 weeks to be red and white and make your stores. Although I saw Kendra Scott in New York City, and she had balloons that were all bright yellow with hearts, which was really quite a fabulous window. And I'm actually going to be talking about that in a new blog coming out this next week about 10 great visual merchandising ideas you can do right now to change your store for spring. But that brings me to the end, and I appreciate you joining me in today. Again, just remember that we are about as successful as we make our minds up to be. Oh, wait, there was one somebody else had asked me, what do I think of open to buy? And I think open to buy is great. Open to buy, you can just search it on the web. It basically just means you only buy what you can afford to sell. It's based on your number of what you've been selling and says you can only buy this much in this category. Sophisticated open to buys are done by computer algorithms, but you can still do it by hand. It's a way of holding your feet accountable and saying, this is all I can afford to buy at a show, not just go crazy and then fill up your store with a bunch of merchandise and then you can't buy anything the rest of the year. So with that in mind, I'm going to leave you because we don't have enough questions to continue. But in the meantime, go out there, go get them. And then remember, your goal is to come up with the possibilities for your shoppers to be able to see how that fits into their life. And then that sparks wonder. And then you're going to find that they buy more. That's Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. Thanks for joining me. Bye.